freedom. We heard a lot about that over the last couple of days. Zion. Freedom. The land of the free. And war all over the lands. They celebrated a thing called freedom. At least that's what they advertised it as, or they pushed it. Excuse me, or they that's how they marketed it this past weekend around this word freedom. I think I'll get to that in a moment, just dealing with what is freedom and who actually is free, and why are we celebrating freedom? Or doesn't make any sense to celebrate something that you really don't have. Oh boy, there you go. Oh, I can hear some of these slumber brews watching me say, "Mother, I already spent over $2,000 on this weekend, and now you gonna go tell me that we ain't free?" Listen here, you slumber brews, you Hamites, and you Japhethites, you heathens and you Gentiles. Hear them all, right? The celebration is not about freedom. Let me tell you what the words they use. So the first thing is they call it the signing of a declaration. That's a speech. To declare something, right? A declaration of independence. It's not a declaration of freedom. It's a declaration that they sign of independence. And these heathen Europeans signed this declaration of independence from their heathen European relatives. Literally their mama and their daddies, sisters and brothers and cousins. They were all family. Get that straight. The whole world. We are independent from you, mama. We are independent from you, daddy, cousins and uncles. We have moved out, and we realize at this point we can become self-sufficient. And whether you like it or not, we are making a declaration that we are independent from you. So therefore, you don't have a declaration of freedom, you have a declaration of independence, even though they push it as freedom. It's the difference between being independent and being free. It's another word that they use too, that they push on us. We don't even take a moment to even think about what they say. Notice that when they freed the slaves, they didn't use the word, this is a declaration of independence for the Hebrew Israelites that were brought over as slaves. Notice they didn't say that. They said, we are making a emancipation proclamation. So when they left their mom and daddy, they said, we want independence. We're fighting, this is our declaration of independence. But when it came to releasing the Hebrews and the Israelites that were in captivity in this nation, they didn't call it a declaration of independence. They said an emancipation. So they used the entire word, an emancipation proclamation. which carries a whole nother meaning. To be free, to be independent, and then emancipated. When it came to us, it was not a declaration of independence, nor was it freedom. They said it's emancipation, which is so deep, because if it had not been for that one declaration, most of us would have never even used that word, emancipation, proclamation. But when you look that up, you're going to find out that it's different from independence, and it's different from freedom. And I'll give you another one, just because this video, I'm gonna keep it short. Food for thought, Zion. Another word that is tossed around a lot this time of year is liberty. So you have the idea of freedom, but it's not really freedom, it's independence, which suggests that one time there was a dependence. And then, of course, there's emancipation, which I mentioned. And then this idea of liberty. Matter of fact, even if we used it like liberty and justice, but we won't get into justice right now, because justice Hebraically speaks about Torah. And so what we have in this nation is not Torah. So in a sense, it's not going to ever be real justice. But that's another video for another time. But the question is, but the idea around this whole weekend and this celebration that they brought the country through was to push the idea of freedom. And so everyone is celebrating a freedom, but a freedom for who? And people, if you say, well, everybody's free here? Yes, we don't have anybody ruling over us. Are you sure about that? And we can do whatever we want. Are you sure about that? Yes, we're free people. Are you really sure about that? Because I do believe that there is some liberties, but I don't believe that you have freedom. You were given freedom even though that was what you celebrated. I believe that there has been an emancipation, but I don't believe there's been an actual freedom, if you understand what the word free means. And yes, I believe that there has been, to a degree, there has been independence, but that independence in no way equals freedom. Morgan, why would you say that? Have you noticed, if you were free, there's a whole nother video, but I'm gonna put it out there. This is just for thought. If you were free in the true sense of the word, if you were free to the level that they celebrated freedom over the weekend, if you were free for real, why would you ever need...
In a quarter mile, turn right onto 10th Avenue.
Why would you ever need, if you were free, why would you ever need a permit as a grown person? Why would you ever need a permit to
turn right onto 10th Avenue?
So what you think about it? You talking about you free, right?
Continue on 10th Avenue for 3 miles.
But in this country, you have to have a permit. The word permit is short. I've said this in previous videos. is short for the word permission. 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 You want to drive? You need permission. You want to build a house? You need permission. You want to build a school? You need permission. You want to put up, you already own a house, you want to add another room to your house? You need permission. If you want to, set up something to further education for young people, you need permission. If you just decide, hey, I want to build a little park so that, I can have a safe place for the children in the neighborhood to play, you have to go down and get a permission. You have to go down and get permission. If you say, you know what, I want to go hunting, I think I'm going to go find me, a shotgun or something, you got to go get permission. I think I've said enough to stimulate. I want to fly. You better go get you what's called a passport. I want to go explore this area. You got to call ahead and get a what? Permission. And then you're going to go some places here in this nation, it's going to be roped off, gated off, fenced out. Basically what they're telling you is you can't go in here. Why not? You don't have permission. And right now, okay, I think right now, when you look at the troubles and the trials and the problems that's going on over here, out here in the West, if we are the land, if this is true freedom, then how are we under the control or under the rules or under the powers of anybody or anything? Oh, we can't bring down gas prices. Why not? Russia and Ukraine are fighting. What I got to do with us? I thought we was free. We can't do nothing about inflation. But why not? I thought we were free. We're free. We do whatever we want. We can't do anything about the rising cost of food. But I thought we was free. We could do whatever we want, right? So who, obviously, that's all my point, is that many times they push us, Zion, they play with our emotions and they throw out words and they play around with terms and things that actually have meaning, but they don't define it. Because what we have here, in not only here, mama, all over the world, there are very, and when I say very few, I mean very, very, very few people out of the, what are we at now? We going on 7 billion? Out of the 7 billion people on Earth, there are probably less.
Head north on North 10th Avenue toward East Grangeville Boulevard. In 500 feet, make a U-turn at East Grangeville Boulevard.
Why is that thing on?
Make a U-turn at East Grangeville Boulevard.
Let me pull over. There are probably less than, I might be exaggerating a little bit, but out of the 7 billion, it might be less than 500 people free. It might be less than 500 people out of the 7 billion that's here that's actually free. I know. I just wanted you to think about that. That means they do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want, as long as they want, and nobody can tell them what to do, what not to do, when to do, and they never have to pull a permit for nothing. Ever. Because they're free. Now, spiritually speaking, we have a freedom promised to us. He who the Son has made free, set free, is free indeed. Okay, yes. But we will not experience true freedom, especially you Israelites, until we experience true freedom in the millennium kingdom, here on earth, under the power of our King Yahushua HaMashiach. But until then, all the fireworks and things really don't mean nothing.